Well, then let's open the meeting. Today is Wednesday, August 9th, 2023. God, where has the time gone? It is 8:47 in the morning, and this is the regularly scheduled meeting for, well, actually, it's rescheduled meeting for Cohasset Affordable Housing Trust. And we will open the meeting with a roll call to assure that we have a quorum. Starting with David Pfeiffer.
David Pfeiffer here.
Rob Henry.
Rob Henry here.
Cindy Matheson.
Cindy Matheson here.
Rob Jeffers.
Rob Jeffers here.
Steve Gomer here. We do have a quorum, so the meeting is now in session. Just a very quick announcement. I did talk to Ted Carr just a few moments ago. Ted will be with us shortly. He is just unfortunately saddled with some transportation duties that he hadn't anticipated, which is to say that the family's down a car at the moment. And if any of you try to get a car repaired, it's harder than getting a doctor's appointment. All right. I can see that, well, there are two people with us. One has a very pretty muzzle, and the other one has a good looking muzzle. So we have the first item on the agenda, which is executive session, and you'll each understand why here in just a second. But in order to go into executive session, we have to vote that the basis for doing so under Mass General Laws 30A subsection 21, reason number 6 is to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if the chair declares that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body. And I do so declare. With that, may I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right,
Seconded.
motion and a second, again by roll. David Pfeiffer,
David Pfeiffer, yes.
Rob Henry,
Aye.
Cindy Matheson,
Cindy Matheson, aye.
Rob Jeffers,
Rob Jeffers, aye.
Hugh Gomer, aye. Votes unanimous. We are now in executive session. Bear with me here, kids. I had the page open that I needed. And of course I can't find it. There we go. We were to have had a financial update. As you may recall, we had asked for this in June, and I think at that point it was just going to take a little bit of time. We've heard back that our finance director can't possibly get to us before September or October. Seems a little. I'm frankly frustrated by that. It's a topic I plan to bring up again with the town manager, because it's. We've just had a conversation about a potential for a very large transaction. The largest the trust will have ever taken on, and we don't know where we stand financially. So I would argue that we have some problems. So Cassandra, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
So I was able to talk to the finance director, and she was able to give me a balance of the account, if that is helpful.
The balance, it actually wasn't, she'd been able to do that last time. What we were looking for was if you will, the running accounting, because we've got outstanding items on it as well. In other words, commitments but not yet billed, things like that. I tell you what, Cassandra, what would be helpful is if there's some sort of written communication that she's given to you with that information, would you mind disseminating it to the trust?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's less productive for us to spend a lot of time on this right now without her here. And yet, if she's given us some information, then send it along and we'll deal with it. Not deal with it, we'll absorb it, because we're going to need a better understanding of our finances if we intend to get enrolled in larger activities.
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, thank you. And we'd hope to have a steering committee update, but I believe, Cassandra, neither the chairman or the vice chairman could make this meeting, correct?
Correct.
All right. On that, I'm going to ask Rob Henry to give us updates on 43 Elm Street. And Rob, before you go, I've got to leave this meeting in 5 minutes, at which point Ted Carr will take that over. Okay? Ted, you may, on your invitation for the meeting, there are also minutes distributed for approval. So if we don't get there, just keep that in mind that the minutes are available for review.
Okay, sounds good.
All righty. Rob, take it away.
Yes, I've been quite involved with the 43 Elm Street. A number of things. We're going to go out. We're going to get some quotes on getting it fixed up, but we figured first we had to clean it up, and we have hired it when Tom E was still involved. We hired a couple of young guys to go in and clean out this unit in terms of taking out the carpeting, gutting the kitchen, all kinds of things, because frankly, if somebody who wanted was going to do any of the cosmetic things that need to be done there, we're not talking about any structural changes as far as this renovation is concerned. But to do that, they would be completely turned off at just saying, how can I even get started with this mess we have? And another thing that I found out that I don't think anybody was aware of, that the woman family that was there, she was running a doggy care center right out of her apartment, which only created more problems there. And so that was a very difficult situation. And I did meet, because I thought it was good from any number of standpoints, to meet with the current owner of the unit below. And I met with a gal named Diane, and in fact, her daughter was there too, taking notes. Very, very conscientious gal. They've been there 20 years now. And I asked why didn't you report this to Board of Health? And I guess this gal in the unit was just so intimidating. They were afraid of retaliation in some fashion. So anyway, the unit has been cleaned. I'm trying to get an invoice. It was some guys that Tommy had hired. But the good news is, that's not the good news. We don't have the invoice, but the price was originally estimated maybe 10,000. I think it's going to be in the neighborhood of $6,000–6,500. So that's not sitting there. So now we're talking about getting quotes, and I understand, and Karis, you I think said this too, that as long as we keep this under $50,000 renovation, it falls under 30B, which means that we have to go solicit proposals. But if we only get one back and we like that proposal, that we can hire that contractor to do the renovation. Is that correct?
Yeah, under 35, not under 50.
Well, how did that change from when we had 50? We've had that all along.
You sure?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Michelle's
Oh,
guy.
okay. Okay, if that's what Michelle said, that's fine.
Yeah. 50 is the number we've been working with for months.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, that 35 is a different number on real estate. So yeah, as you just have to solicit quotes, and you can take, even if you only get one, it doesn't matter. You can
Right.
take whichever of the quotes you wish to take.
Yeah. So that was my
That's-
understanding. So that's what we're going to do. That kind of operates as a condo association, the two people there, and I guess this other, the one that left was not too cooperative about things in terms of repairs and stuff like that. But I don't think we're going to have to get involved in the building repairs. They're going to have to work that out themselves. But a very interesting situation has come up. First of all, are there any questions about, moving forward, what we're doing? Okay. So it's an interesting circumstance.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Bob.
There's a very interesting circumstance, and I, again, in talking to Diane Aarons, the owner downstairs, and it's she and her husband, and they have two daughters who are there all the time, who are in their 20s, and I think they live in Quincy. They are very desirous in buying this unit up above, so they could be near their parents and all. And because it's considered public housing and all that, I'm not quite sure how to proceed, or if we can proceed. Because obviously, if we could, and they may qualify as, affordable housing people, so we could still have credit for it. But the question is, what do we still have to go through the same thing as far as renovation? With the, getting the proposals and so forth, because thinking is if they indeed wanted to buy it and they could buy it, before we do a renovation, pick out paints and appliances and stuff like that, we got to put in cabinets in the kitchen. You know, if they owned it, they'd have a hand in it, knowing what the budget was. So is that something you know anything about off the top of your head, Karis?
Karis doesn't,
There we go.
I do.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead, Karis.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, the issue I think we'd run into, and Karis, you can correct me if it's wrong, if it's gonna be deed restricted, it has to be put out to, you have to open it up to anybody to apply. You can't pick who's going to buy it.
Right.
So it's not like they're guaranteed. So if we decide to sell it, we decide to sell it and we hire an agent that would then take in applications and pick the, it's not necessarily a lottery. When there's some qualifications, and then everybody who qualifies then goes into a lottery after that. That's kind of like how the Habitat stuff works. So it's not,
Right.
I don't think
There's
you
an-
can do a direct.
There's an affirmative housing marketing plan that's part of the deed restriction that you'll have to follow. So you can't just sell it to whoever you want to sell it to, correct?
Cannot be a directed sale.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I figured, and I said I didn't give them a lot of hope that they could do something, but I said I would bring it up to the trust, so probably the only thing we can do in their favor is just let them know when something is available so they can take a look at it. So in other words, we have to proceed doing the renovation and getting the work done.
Right, and so do we have a request for proposal out?
Not yet.
Okay, any idea what the time?
We don't have to go through a regular RFP, process apparently. We got, but
Right,
I gotta have a couple of contractors come in and give me a proposal before we can, about what, what's involved, what they're gonna do, because it is, as they say, nothing structured. It's gonna be painting, and just making it livable. And the
Well-
kitchen is gonna be the biggest part of it.
yeah, by the way, Rob and Tom were a subcommittee to drive this. It is, as Rob can attest, it takes a fair amount of time. So given that we're missing one person on the subcommittee with Rob, I gently ask whether or not any of us has the capability of jumping in here. And my thought process on this is pretty straightforward. We can't sit on this unit forever. As a matter of fact, the burn rate on it is fairly steep between insurance, which doesn't sound like much, but as an unoccupied unit, the insurance is pretty steep. Continuing to carry the property on its own. So we've got, we've got taxes to take care of, and any utility expense plus the HOA. So it's in our best interest to get the renovation scoped, bid, and completed sooner rather than later. And
I have one thing in this thing in the equation, Steve, because I told you, I have interviewed a fellow here in town that if we keep it in this mode of only 30B, whatever it is, that he'd be willing to be, he doesn't want to call it clerk of the works, but he would monitor the project. So we do have somebody that would monitor the work being done there, so that none of us have to be responsible to be the project manager and kind of.
what I'm driving at the moment is actually getting getting the work entity
Right.
lined up. And with that, I put it out, if someone's got some time to contribute to this with Rob, I'm sure he could use the assistance, because it's, it does take a lot of time. I also gently propose that we come up with a better way of dealing with stuff like this in the future, because this is really not an activity of the trust, and shouldn't be. Ted, I am before Cassandra, forgive me, I don't mean to dodge. I am up against my time limit. Ted, would you mind taking over at this point?
Sure. Yep.
The chair hands the chair of the meeting to Ted Carr. And folks, thank you very much. Cassandra, I'll follow up with you on any items I missed. Ted, likewise, I'll do the same with you.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Look, Rob and I always enjoy spending time together. So Rob, I'm glad to help you with this. If you need an extra set of hands,
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think the underlying thing, which I'm not being negative, but just being upfront, is the job is not a big job. And I've had, in my consulting work and things like that, just a number of so-called remodelers and people out there that they, where there's enough business that they're taking the bigger jobs. And so that was one of the reasons we want to get it cleaned up, so it didn't look like a really terrible kind of thing. But I've talked to a couple of people and they're just not interested in something this small, but I haven't done as much as I would like to do. So I think that's the thing, Ted, that I appreciate. We can come up, and I don't know in this group if anybody has any, builder, remodeler, or people, painters, carpenters that have done work recently that they know about that might be interested. I'd, like to have their names. Because that's what I'm doing now, is trying to gather some more people who might have an interest in doing something small like this.
I have a couple people in mind. So yeah,
Okay.
I think that's a great idea.
All right, so we'll you and I'll talk offline. Yes, Cassandra.
Thanks. I think Ted called on me, but Ted, you're muted now suddenly.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's
I-
okay.
I was helping, since he's working with me, I thought I would help him on this now.
I did just want to bring up to Steve's earlier point about the HOA and the insurance. We have received an invoice from Habitat in regards to that. I did try to attach it to the meeting invite, so I'm not sure if all of you have seen it, but it does total $3,861.86. And I'm obviously, if you will want to look at it, I can screen share that
Right.
as well.
What period of time does that cover?
So it covers we're technically past due with the HOA fees. So it goes back to April through July, and then including the insurance from August 1st through January 1st of this upcoming year.
I didn't quite understand. What was the first part beside the insurance? What's the other part that you bid on?
The HOA condo association.
Boy, that sounds like a lot of money for that period of time.
I think it was annual insurance, right? I think I looked at it, was like 2,500 of it is. Am I remembering that correctly?
So it's a 6-month builder's risk because there's construction
Okay.
going on, which is why the rate is so high.
Even when nothing's going on?
The insurance company required it.
It's an unoccupied. I ran into this once before. They are high. That's why you want to get out of this sort of mode, but it's the occupancy issue.
This is one of the things that we did when we hired the guys to clean out. We made sure that they had the proper insurance to do work in there in case anything happened. So we were like double covered.
Yeah, I think, we're obligated on this bill, I think. Is that right, Cassandra?
You are obligated, yes. So
Okay.
I would just need a vote to
Okay,
move forward with paying it.
all right. Let's, anybody want to make a motion on the bill?
I will. So I'll propose that we pay the invoice on 43 Elm Street.
Great. Is there a second?
Second,
All right, David Pfeiffer, second. All those in favor, I guess I should poll. Cindy,
Cindy Matheson, aye.
Rob Jeffers,
Bob Jeffers, aye.
David Pfeiffer,
David Pfeiffer, aye.
and Rob Henry,
Bob Henry, aye.
and Ted Carr, aye. Okay, so let's pay that. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra.
Mhm.
All right. Rob, anything else at the moment on the property?
No, nothing more right now. No.
Okay, great. And then, and I'm so sorry, is it just minutes to review?
So you do have minutes from July 26th to review. I had also put the groundbreaking for 808 Jerusalem. And then I did also just have a side note in regards to financing and 808 Jerusalem. If we could cover that as well.
Okay, so, yeah, I think I listened to the select board meeting last night, so the groundbreaking of Habitat, the 808 is coming up soon. What's the date again, Cassandra?
Yes, it is the 17th at 10 a.m. So it's a Thursday.
Okay, great. If anybody can attend, I think that would be wonderful.
I'll be there.
Okay,
I'm on, I should say unfortunately, because I'm not happy, I mean, not unhappy, but I'm gonna be on vacation that week. I'm out of town.
I'll be there.
oh, that's wonderful. I'll go as well. So that, I think that we'll have a good core group there. Okay, perfect. And then, why don't we do minutes last, but I think let's, Cassandra, and I'm so sorry, I have my sleeping very old dog again over here. But, what is the update on the other Habitat payments?
So Tamar Scheisse, who is in charge of fundraising for the project, and I believe for all Habitat projects, she was looking for a letter confirming your commitment to the $75,000 to the 808 Jerusalem project. She had reached out a couple weeks ago, and I don't believe that she's received any such letter since. I had talked to Steve about it very briefly, but this was right when he was coming back from vacation, so I'm sure it got lost in the shuffle. But the more pressing thing is that in talking to Jennifer Mullen and like trying to sort out what money you have set aside for commitments and things like that, I reviewed all of the minutes for all of your meetings, and I cannot find a vote for the 75,000. I can find mention of it, but no official vote.
I think you're right, Cassandra. I think we talked about it a lot, but we've never taken a formal vote for it.
And that's my recollection too. Does anybody have any thoughts? I'm fine with taking a vote today about the 75K. We did vote, we got a special purpose grant for Habitat. It was the movie waiver of a movie
Mhm.
permit and some small, I think it was $5,000 or
Mhm.
something like that. We did vote that. So that should be in their category.
Yes, I do have record of that vote.
Okay,
But I don't
so-
have record of the 75,000. And I would just, before you take the vote, I did want to make sure that I brought it up, but I would just defer to Karis just to confirm if you're able to vote, whereas it was not on the agenda.
Good point. Karis, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm concerned since it's not a specific agenda item and this is an actual vote, you can't do it. You'll have to defer it to September or hold a special meeting to do it.
Okay, and I think, okay, and I believe our recollection was groundbreaking was a trigger for the payment, so. Cassandra, could you communicate with them, say, look, we need to have it on an agenda, we'll do it in September. We'll vote it and we can clean it up then, if that is a problem for them, would you let us know? And we can
Yes.
try to come together, okay.
Yes,
So
I can
let's
do
do
that.
that, I think, let's do that, when we'll put it on the agenda for September's meeting.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, anything else on that one?
I believe that was all. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware.
All right, that's great. Why don't we also on September's meeting agenda, we'll have another update on number 43 with Rob, just so we can keep on top of that. Let's try to move through that exercise quickly. Okay, and then minutes, I think, is the last thing. Did you all have a chance to look at the minutes? I think the minutes are going very, very well. I missed the Cindy Matheson touch, but that's okay.
Oh my God, Christine is a godsend.
Yeah, it's really,
It's nothing like having a professional in here, man.
I'm the secretary of the school committee at the moment as well, and we have a professional, and I would be lost without her, and
Ugh.
it's just something else. Yeah, so thank you. Anybody like to move the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second,
Any,
Second.
any discussion? So it's moved and seconded. We'll just move them as a group. So I'll just roll call everybody here. So Cindy,
Cindy Matheson, I.
okay, Rob Henry,
Bob Henry, aye.
David Pfeiffer,
David Pfeiffer, aye.
Rob Jeffers,
Rob Jeffers, aye.
Ted Carr, aye. My sleeping dog also votes aye. Sorry. Um,
Can I also just say, again, thank you to Christine, because now this was a key thing in our communication plan, is to be open and transparent and to have the minutes of easily and quickly available on the website is a big accomplishment as far as I'm concerned. So hooray, thank you, Christine.
Completely agree. All right, any other business, everybody?
Nope.
Okay, how about a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
David Pfeiffer,
Second.
is there a second?
Second,
I said second, yeah.
Oh, Karis, are you waving? You have a question?
No, sorry, I was just waving goodbye.
Oh, okay, very good. Goodbye,
See you all
Karis.
in September.
All right, great. So, I'll take a roll call for, to adjourn. Cindy,
Cindy Mathis and I.
Rob Jeffers,
Bob Jeffers, aye.
David Pfeiffer,
David Piper, aye.
Rob Henry,
Rob Henry, aye.
Ted Carr, aye. Okay, wonderful, everybody. Enjoy your beautiful day.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you, Cassandra, very much. Okay, bye-bye.